It's 5:30. Welcome everybody to the Southern Utah University Graduate New Student Orientation. My name is Tad Brinkerhoff. I'm the Associate Vice President for Graduate and Online Programs, and we're excited to welcome you here today. It's fun to see so many people joining us today and as they start their SUU journey. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We've got some really good information here for you. So, can everybody see the screen? Okay, thank you. All right. Well, I will tell you, as an SUU alum, SUU is near and dear to my heart. As I was picking schools, I looked at schools both out of state and in state, and ended up staying with that Southern Utah University, and I'm so glad I did. SUU for me is a school that really focuses on the individual. And even though I did traditional face-to-face program years ago, that personal approach really emanates throughout the online program as well. So we want to get to know you as a person, and we want to get to know your goals and just know that we're here for your success. So as we're starting, I would love for you to put in the chat where you currently are located. If you give us the city and the state, if you're comfortable sharing that, we'd love to hear where you're coming from. If you're local or are you from across the country? So I'm gonna put in the chat. Let's see what we've got. Montana, wow. Orem, Utah, Salt Lake, Layton, Colorado Springs, Orem, Roy, Washington. I don't know where that is. Surprise, Eagle River, Arkansas. Wow. Matt from Greenville, South Carolina. Houston, Texas. Las Vegas, Nevada. Salt Lake, Bountiful, St. George, Laramie, Wyoming, Saratoga Springs, Spokane, and Lehigh. And no one from Cedar City. Wow. I guess I'll represent the Cedar City group. That's quite a group. Thank you, everybody, for sharing that. It's exciting. We got people from all over the country. That's wonderful. Well, this is great. That helps us know that some of you were going to be introducing you to SUU and to Cedar City, Utah. You'll be associated with Southern Utah University for the rest of your career, and I think that's going to be a very positive thing. Here's a picture of the bell tower in campus, and hopefully many of you, when you're finished and you graduate, you'll come and join us. We have a tradition of walking through the bell tower at graduation. It's a fun tradition. I think SUU is one of the most beautiful campuses. So even though you might not come here for classes, we hope you'll join us for graduation because that's going to happen sooner than you think. And I love this motto, you belong here. And that's one thing, like I said earlier, that's one thing that is a hallmark of Southern Utah University educational experience is the personal experience, not only with your professors, but also with the staff that will be here to support you. And you'll talk to some of them today. Amanda and Seth will be there. Lauren is also on, and she's also someone who is here to support you as a student. So this is our agenda for tonight. We did a little bit of a welcome and some introductions. We are going to have Amanda Lee, who's on our staff, talk about succeeding as an online graduate student and how to use Canvas and some learning technologies. Amanda is a recent MBA graduate from SUU and a former presidential ambassador. So I think she'll have a lot of really good tips for you as someone who just finished her master's degree. And then we're going to hear from Seth Iono, who oversees our advising academic support and student wellness. As a student, especially most of you, if not all of you, are working professionals, you're going to be balancing a lot. And we just want to share some of the resources that you have, not only from academic support, but also mentally, how do you handle all those challenges, especially if you have a family and other responsibilities. There is a lot of support here to help you be successful. And then, as I can imagine, most of you, if not all of you, are here because you really want to grow your career and you want to advance in your career. So we're going to talk about some topics, some support systems there that will help you with your career management and professional growth and how we can help you with that. So And then I'll do a quick wrap up and we can answer any questions that you might have. I hope that's good enough for you. And so be thinking of questions that you might want to ask. I will say as we get to Amanda, just one piece. So I did my degree at SUU, and then I later went and got an MBA, and I worked in the corporate world for a few years. And then but I have been working in higher ed for about 25 years with a lot of graduate students. And the one thing I'm going to say in terms of advice of students that I've worked with, the main thing I will say is as soon as you identify a period of time where you're struggling and you need extra help, please reach out to your professor and please reach out to your academic advisor. Please do not wait until the very end of the semester. And many of you, if not most of you, will be taking 7-week courses. So know that there's people to support you and help you. And if you're taking a class that's challenging, within the first week, please reach out and let us support and help you. It gets really challenging if it's, several days before the final and you're still not grasping the concepts. It's really challenging to try and rectify that situation. So my one advice is you balance all those things in your life. Please don't be afraid. Please don't be shy. Please reach out to your professor and your academic advisor and other professionals on the staff that are here to support you. Please do that early so that we can help you and support you um, early on in the process. That's my one piece of advice. All right, Amanda, let's hear from you. She's a student success advisor from peer to professional. Amanda's from Northern Utah. She has 2 degrees from SUU, and I'll tell you, she's a fantastic worker and very knowledgeable about our programs, and she's here to support and help you. But we're going to turn the time over to her and let her talk about using the systems, particularly Canvas and several other systems. So, Amanda, I'll turn the time over to you.
Perfect. Yeah, so hi guys. My name's Amanda Lee. I am an academic advisor, as Tad said, and I just finished up my MBA with a concentration in healthcare administration. So yeah, I've been doing that for about a year. I did grad path in my undergraduate degree, and I also did my undergraduate degree here at SUU. When I was a presidential ambassador, I worked for financial aid. Then I got my job here through SU Online and Graduate, and I've been an academic advisor. And I've really enjoyed this experience. I've enjoyed getting to know a lot of your guys' different programs. Also, side note, if you're not registered for summer yet, come see me or Lauren, come see Lauren as well. So we're both academic advisors. We'll take care of you. But yeah, I would say the number one thing that has helped me in my undergraduate and my graduate degree with online learning is really getting to know your professor. Take the time to meet with your professor, talk with your professor. Majority of the time, they can give you a lot of great outlets outside of just school, but also when it comes to career. I had a really great professor. He's also a professor, well, Croft, he's a professor in the MBA as well as undergraduate, and then Travis Simpkins was one of my professors in my graduate degree, and they're both really great. I talked to them a lot about future career opportunities. They would meet with me on the side sometimes and um, help me give me a better outlets for what I wanted to go into. Ultimately, I did choose healthcare administration, and I'm hoping that works out. But on the backside, I do know that Travis Simpkins, which was one of my professors in my undergrad and my graduate degree, I could go talk to him, and he'd be willing to help me anytime. They do office hours, and I think office hours are really, really important. It's important to go meet with your professor if you need help. They're going to be your number one source of help, and especially in an online degree. Um, Getting to know the different people in your class as well. I know discussion posts, I don't know if how many of you have done discussion posts, but there's this bad connotation behind discussion posts. Um, I really like discussion posts. I really like group projects too. I've learned a lot from a lot of different people in my graduate degree because a lot of them are in different stages of life than me. And so it's been a really great opportunity to get to know what they've done and why they're getting their degree, as well as advising you guys, which is a lot of fun. I get to know why you want a degree, what your reasoning is, and I think just looking for future career opportunity. I will say that whatever you put into your degree is what you're going to get out of it. So the more that you learn, the more that you study, the more that you take the time to actually know the material, the more that you're going to learn. At some point, if you're kind of just going through the motions of a degree, you're just spending money on a degree that's not actually going to benefit you or be useful to you. I always like when I can pull out random facts that I learned in some of my classes and be like, "Oh yeah, I heard that with marketing." It makes me feel extra smart. And you do get good fun facts or you can apply them to your everyday work life, which is a lot of fun. So yeah, so those are some of my biggest advice for online learning and online degrees. Also planning ahead. Typically the professors will post every assignment that's due, especially if you're in those 7 week classes. They will post everything that's due for those 7 weeks. And that's something that I think you should really pay attention to, especially if you're doing the summer semester. I know everybody loves to go on vacations in the summer, me myself, but it is easier if you have that knowledge base of, okay, I know this is coming up. I know that this is going to be a bigger project. I'm going to have to spend more time on it and kind of looking ahead at those assignments that are going to be due. So, yeah. Do you guys have any questions, specific questions about just being an online learner and how you feel about it? Awkward silence. Just kidding.
Amanda, I'll ask you a question. So when I was in grad school, like managing my time and balancing my time, what do you suggest in time management? Is it okay to feel out of balance sometimes? And how do you get that balance back? What's your advice on that?
Yeah, I will say, especially majority of people when they're in a graduate degree are working full time. And at some point, you realize that you spend a lot of time at work and then you go home and you need the motivation to go home and do homework as well. I think that the best way to balance your time is really looking ahead at those assignments. That's going to help you a lot. Another thing is the first couple weeks that you're in your classes, you're going to see that it's going to take a lot of time. You're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, this is a lot. Every week I have to read a case study and then I have to write a paper." But as the 7 weeks go on, you really do get used to it and you really do get used to when you put in that and fill that time with school rather than doing other things or getting distracted by other things. I think it's helped me a lot with my time management just with everything because I've known, okay, if I don't go to the store on Sunday, then when I have homework due, I'm not gonna be able to go to the store, so then I'm gonna have to grab something really fast to eat and hurry and eat it real fast before I have to do homework. So I think it helps a lot when you really balance your time, and as you go throughout your degree, especially your graduate degree, you just get a lot more used to it. Um, Also, another thing that I kind of struggle with is all day at work I spend time on the computer, and so I'll typically break up my time of I'll go to work all day, be on the computer, go home, maybe go to the gym or do something else that's not on a computer, and then come and revisit back to my homework. I think that when you think about your homework all day long and what you have to do when you get home from work, you end up using all of that like mental it's kind of like a mental stressor. And by the time you get home, you just feel exhausted. You're like, I can't do homework now. So if you just know, I'm going to take a break when I get home from work, I'll have time to relax, get to my homework. It just helps you out a lot better. But time management wise, I think it is really just getting used to the class that you're in at the time. Another thing is if you're taking, most programs are 4 credits or 6 credits. Um, or sorry, not 4 credits, I meant 4 classes. So it's either 12 credits or 6 credits a semester. If you're taking those 12 credits and you just decide, I'm spending way too much time at work and then way too much time doing homework, or I just really don't have the time to balance it both, you do have the 100% refund date. And I think that's a really good base level to decide if you, I would always like start with more classes. So if you start with 4 classes in your first semester and you decide, you kind of take a look at them you decide that it's too much, you do have like 10 days with the 7-week courses or 2 to 3 weeks with the 14-week courses. And you can kind of decide, okay, 2 classes at a time or 4 classes at a time is too much, depending on if you have full session or 7-week courses. But that's too much. I'm going to drop it down. And you still have that 100% refund, no W on your transcripts, all that stuff to kind of balance out how you think your life is going to be for that semester. So, yeah.
Perfect. That's great. That's great advice. So it sounds like it's like establish good habits early,
Yeah.
and don't stress yourself out.
Yeah, don't stress yourself out.
Yeah,
I promise the classes do get easier as you not necessarily the material, but just handling the course material, handling what you need to do throughout the day to get your homework done. And a lot of the times I spend the whole week, I won't do anything or touch my homework all week. Probably not the best advice, but I won't touch my homework all week, and then I wait for the weekend when I have that full mental capacity to really look at it. So,
perfect. All right. Well, tell us about Canvas.
perfect. Yeah, so we're going to run through Canvas orientation. The best way to find your SUU portal if you're kind of having a hard time is go to Google, Safari, Chrome, whatever you use. Type in the URL suu.edu. If you type that in, it should pull it right up. And then when you click on the My SUU, it'll take you to the next page. And this is going to be your SUU portal. If you're having a hard time logging into this, you can always contact IT. You can also reach out to me. My email's amandalee5@su.edu. I'll put it in the chat. You can reach out to me and I'll send you how to contact IT and authorize your account. Sometimes it takes about 24 hours, so don't stress out if you can't immediately get into your account. On the campus page, there's a lot of really great resources. On the right side, there's DegreeWorks, Success Hub. That'll show you why you're taking your classes or where they fall into your degree. And then obviously you have your balance where you can pay for your tuition. The one that I have highlighted is your Canvas. So if you click on the Canvas, this is where all your classes are going to be.
Are you ready for the next slide?
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem.
Okay, so this is where you're going to find your classes. They should pop up right here. If they don't pop up right there, you can go to the courses. See that courses on the left-hand side. There's different stars. If you star it, it'll bring it to your dashboard. They should pop up on your dashboard. If you're starting in the summer semester, or any semester really, but for summer specifically, May 11th is when your Canvas module will pull up on your account. If it doesn't pull up between 8 and noon, then you can reach out to your professor and be like, hey, the Canvas module hasn't shown up for me. Is there something going on? But I wouldn't stress until May 11th, which is the first day of the semester. Then depending on if you're in a full session or 7-week course, if you're in a 7-week course, on June 28th, it'll disappear. And on June 29th, a new one will show up. And that'll go till the end of the semester. And then it'll be like that every single semester until you finish out your degree. But this is where you can locate your courses. So, and I just typically click on them.
Yeah, and someone just posted in the chat that Canvas is currently undergoing maintenance.
Yeah.
You might have heard there was a data breach yesterday with Instructure, which is the parent company for Canvas. So I'm assuming it's related to that, and that rarely happens. And if it's down, it's usually down for just a few hours. So, but it sounds like this data breach was quite significant. I don't know. Have you heard, Amanda or Seth, have you heard anything more on that? Okay.
I did notice that it was down today. To be honest, I figured they were doing updates for the new semester starting on Monday, so I think I was way off on my assumptions. But yeah,
Yeah.
if it does go down, your professors are really good at working with you. So say Canvas goes down for a whole day, it doesn't typically happen, but don't stress, just reach out to your professor and say, "Hey, Canvas has been down all day," and I'm sure they're aware and they'll
Yeah.
they'll help you. So,
Okay.
Yeah, taking a
per
screenshot always helps too as you're sharing that message with them.
perfect. The next page that I screenshotted and showed you guys is a syllabus. All of your classes are going to have this. This is where the professor is going to put really important information how many tests you're going to have for the semester, the grade breakdown for the course, what assignments are going to be due in the course. You can also, Seth just put in the chat a syllabus search. So if you ever have a class and it's in a few semesters or next semester and you want to look at the syllabus early, or if you want to look at the syllabus now for a class that you're going to start on Monday, you can click on that link and that'll pull up every syllabus that we have at Southern Utah University. So it'll give you a rundown of how the class is going to be. If you know that you have big family trips or something going on and you look at the syllabus and it's too much, you can always move the class around, find a different class that might fit for that time of the year. Another thing that I highlighted is your professor's online office hours. They are required to have office hours every single week. Here, my professor noted that they're flexible outside of those hours, so typically you can just contact them. This is a really great resource to use if you want to meet with them. Another thing that they typically do, they'll have an hour or two throughout the week or every other week, kind of just depends on the professor, where you can go in and they'll actually teach you the material that you're learning for the next week or two. And typically if you get on these, they offer extra credit or they're just information systems. It just kind of depends, but they aren't required to have you meet. So you're never required to meet for these classes. They are asynchronous. They are at your own pace to some extent with due dates and deadlines. So, perfect. And then if you go to the next one, this is on the syllabus as well. It'll show you the grade screen or scheme, the breakdown, how much the quizzes are worth, how much discussion boards, or depending on your class, what the different professor does. It'll also show you grade ranges. On the right-hand side, it'll show you course materials. So course books and materials are located here. You can also go to your SUU portal, and on the homepage, you can type in the search bar, My Courses. It'll bring up what textbooks you need for that class and show you if it's inclusive access or if the book's available online, all of those kind of things. It also gives you a course description and then what you'll be learning in the course. So, perfect. The next page is showing you if you click on the modules on the side. Sorry, I cut it off. But when you click on modules on the side, it'll bring up each module. Typically for a 7-week course, it'll be 7 modules. 14 weeks, probably 14. It kind of just depends on how the professor does it. But each module is broken down into how much homework or what you're going to be learning that week. So to give you a module 1 overview, that's everything that you're going to be learning for the week. And then an introduction discussion is what we were doing, a quiz, and then a summary of everything you learned. And then it went to the next week, and it'll have all the material for the next week. So they do really break it down really well for you to easily figure out what you're doing for that week or during the semester. So.
Anybody have any questions so far? I think Canvas is pretty user-friendly once you get used to it. So, okay, next slide.
Also, this is a really big side note, but Sydney, I'm pretty sure we used to work together at Twisted Sugar. We did.
Sure did.
That's so
how
funny.
I knew you.
I was like trying to figure it out this whole time. Anyways, okay, moving on. I'm so sorry. I was like, I know her. Okay. Anyways, this is grades on Canvas. This is where you, all your professor will put in all of your grades for that semester. Something that I typically like to do is a what if audit. In my last class specifically, my professor had told us that if we did really well on all the exams, we didn't need to take the final. So I was in there putting a 0 in there, making sure that it wasn't going to change my grade because I was really stressed about it. But yeah, so this is a really great way to figure out, okay, I think I did okay on this assignment. What will my grade be? I really like this one. Sometimes maybe I don't have to do an assignment or something, but yeah, I like this page. And this will show you all your grades. This is how you can keep everything aligned. It shows you the due date of each assignment and when you turned in that assignment. So if you ever need to go back and check if you did, you can look on this page as well. So.
Okay.
Perfect. This is just kind of showing what grade I would have had if I had 190 out of 200. and then how it affects your overall grade. And this also has the percentages put in there because the professor has put in the percentages. So it'll show you your accurate grade of what it will be. But okay, perfect. So if you have a discussion, or not discussion, so sorry. If you have a group project, you can click on groups on the side. If you have groups for multiple classes, it'll show you, say, HCA 6400, and then it shows you Management 6100 or something along that realm. But you can click on there, and then that's where you can find who's in your group for the group project, which is a really great resource, especially if you're trying to get together with your group earlier and make sure that you guys have everything set in stone, how you're going to divide up the group project. That's a great way. Another thing is you can look at the inbox. So on the left-hand side, there's an inbox as well. If you click compose, it'll bring up professor or student. If you click on professor, it'll just bring up your professors for the current classes that you're registered for. You can click on there, you can message your professor if you need to message them about something. As well as if you click on students, it'll bring up every single student that's in the class. So if you have a group, you click on all the students. I typically will message my students, hey, or not my students, sorry, anyone who's in my group project, hey, we have a group project this semester. I'm really bad at checking Canvas. Can you guys just send your phone numbers and let's just make a message group chat? So that's another way to just get in contact with students in your classes, or even if someone says something really interesting that you want to learn more about, you can always message them as well. So the calendar is really my favorite. The calendar icon will show you when all your assignments are due. So for this class specifically, all my assignments were due on Wednesdays. So I knew that on Saturday or Sunday, if I had extra time, I said, okay, well, I need to get my assignments done because I know that after work on Wednesday, I'm not going to want to do homework or something. So I would always make sure that to look, and then I really like that it always crosses it off when you're done with the assignment. Gives you a sense of fulfillment. So, but yeah, this is a really great resource as well. And if you start two classes at the same time, you don't know if it's going to be too much. It'll show you every single assignment that you have due for the semester and break it down for you. And you can say, oh, that's going to be too much all stacked on one day or something. And you can drop the course if you need to. So, yeah, and I think that's it for me.
Okay. Any questions for Amanda before we have Seth talk to us? Okay. I think you'll find Canvas pretty user friendly. There's some helps on the tool, but then you can also reach out to your academic advisors if you have any questions, or IT as well. All right, before we go to Seth, let me see if we've got any.
Quick question.
Oh,
Sorry.
sure.
Can you show us the Outlook?
The Outlook?
Yes, I can't able to get an access to Outlook.
Are you talking
Oh,
about?
I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
Okay, perfect. I might just request to share my screen real quick, if that's okay.
sure. Did I?
I think I know what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure.
Let me. Okay, you should be able to share, Amanda. I'll stop sharing for right now.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, can you guys see my screen okay?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so I think that what you're talking about is on Canvas, on the right-hand side, it'll say Office 365. Is that what you're looking for?
No. So there is a resource, and just below the resource, there is a Google Drive and student email.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So this one?
Uh-huh. That one also, as well as the one that just you said, the what did you say about mm, so the Office 365 login also. I need both information.
Okay, perfect. So for Office 365, it'll be your first name, your last name. It's typically the login to your Canvas. Do you know the login to your Canvas?
Yes.
Perfect. So it'd be your first name, your last name, and then it's typically at sumail.net.
SCU.mail.com. What did you say the last one?
SUUmail.net.
Oh, SCU. Okay,
I
okay.
can put it in the chat as well. So,
Yes, please.
and then your password will be the same password that you use to log into your Canvas, and then
Mhm.
you'll have to do a push for this one as well.
Okay. How
And
do I
then
get the push code? So push code, I should have to set up the push code myself.
yeah, so you'll have to get the Dual Mobile app,
Mm-hmm.
and do the dual authentication.
Education. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
That's really hard. And so you have to set it up that way. If you
Mhm.
need help, you can contact IT as well, and they're really
Mhm.
helpful.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. I was trying to think. Oh yeah, and then with your SU
Uh,
email as well,
email. Yeah.
it'll be the same for your login for Office 365.
Oh, okay.
Did that answer the question?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
But when I do that, it says 400. That is an error. Maybe I should
I bet
talk to IT. Yeah.
I bet that's coming up right now because Canvas is down. So all of your other
Hmm.
systems could be down, but if you are getting the 400 error still, maybe tomorrow I would contact IT.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
And we can get the IT address into the chat for you.
Okay. Sounds great. Before we turn the time over to Seth, we want to do another quick poll. Have you ever been on the SUU campus? So you could put yes or no into the chat. I'm curious, how many of you been onto the SUU campus? Oh, no, everyone's no. We have one yes, not yet. Yes, okay, perfect. Stop there briefly on a drive. Oh, good. Okay. It's as those answers are coming in, I will say it's been rated one of the more beautiful campuses in Utah as well as in the country. It's lots of trees, lots of history. The university was founded in 1897. It's been around a long time. So the other thing I love about our campus, we have a large museum of art called the SUMA, the Southern Utah Museum of Art. We have the Utah Shakespearean Festival, which has won national awards, a National Tony Award. So if you're here between June and October, it's a great way to, they have amazing plays. They're Broadway caliber plays. So we hope you will come and join us on campus if you're close enough. I see that Keith is from Rolla, Missouri, which is a long ways away. Keith, I used to live in Missouri for about 6 years, so I've been to Rolla lots of times. It's a great town. So, all right. Well, those of you who said no, you haven't been, please plan on coming for graduation. We do a big reception for you when you come to campus. Several weeks ago, we had graduation. We had people from New Jersey and from Minnesota and from California, Salt Lake area. It was fun to meet all of our students. And so when you graduate, we'll have a big party for you to celebrate. Okay, Seth, I'm gonna share the screen again, and we'll turn the time over to Seth. There we go. Seth with a different haircut.
It grows fast, guys, so it could be back in like a month or so. Anyways, my name is Seth Iono. I am the coordinator for our online advisement unit, and my main focus is making sure that you guys have the resources available to you to navigate higher ed. I know you're all coming from undergraduate programs. Now that could have been, 10, 20 years ago. That could have been last year. And sometimes, we have varying levels of experience in how to be a successful student in this environment, and taking a step up and working on something like your graduate degree in those courses sometimes requires a little extra help. And that's where people like Amanda and Lauren, who are here with us today, come into play. We have a two-tiered advising system, meaning that you all have advisors like Amanda and Lauren that you can schedule time with to sit down and review any in-depth support that you need. But we also have a team of express advisors that are actually trained by both Amanda and Lauren to be able to answer any shallower, maybe frequent frequently asked questions, things that don't necessarily require a 15 to 30-minute appointment to in the future to solve. So if you need some help right then, right now, our express advising team is fantastic at doing those. And many of you may have already interacted with them. They can help you with anything from registration to understanding how to connect to a different resource, and just making sure that you're heading in the right direction. One thing I'll echo from Tad and from Amanda is the importance of your relationship with your professors at this level. In your undergraduate degree, we've all had different experiences. At the graduate level, when you're taking that step up, um, your relationship with both your professors and your peers become that much more valuable. They're in the area of expertise that you're paying good money to study and to spend time and to advance your career in. So take advantage of that. Regardless of how you approached it in your undergraduate, it's something that you really want to prioritize in your graduate degree. Make sure that you're prepared to explain who you are, what you're trying to accomplish, and what you need out of your professor, and your classmates, in every experience and interaction that you get. And if they understand you and you understand them and you're networking appropriately, you won't just leave with a degree, you'll leave with a network of support that'll serve you for the rest of your life. So I just wanted to echo that from Amanda and Tad. It's really important. Does anybody have any questions as to how to achieve that as an online learner? Perfect. I'll just give you three brief notes on that. So one is have um, a welcome, what's it called? Oh, a profile ready for yourself, something that introduces you to every professor that you're going to have in the program. Um, Especially if you have any extenuating circumstances or things that you want them to take into account, it's much better to introduce yourself at the beginning of a course, get that point across with them, and build on that relationship with awareness on both ends than it is to come in the week before finals and tell them, well, actually, I have, this circumstance that I need an exception for. So lead out by introducing yourself, have a profile ready that you're going to share with the professor every time you start a new class. We all know that the first discussion post typically involves some sort of introduction anyways, so you're doing yourself a favor by saving that type of information and being ready to pass it on. Utilize office hours for sure, like Amanda said. That would be my second note. Just make a point to make it to their very first office hours at the beginning of a semester. That way that they know that you're willing to go. You make an impression, and when you need something from them throughout the course, that they know who you are. And then lastly, try to build a relationship with your advisors that could lead to letters of recommendation should you need them in the future. Those would be my 3 points on that. Getting back into the presentation a bit, we have the information there for graduate advising. That's the split. There's the email for our express advising and the phone number. Feel free to note that before we move on to the next slide. I just want you guys to walk away knowing that you have the support of an advising team that's both ready for you when you need immediate help and when you need to, if you have something that you want to sit down and really discuss and go over in an appointment, that you have that available to you as well. All right, Tad, I'm ready for the next slide. Academic support. So these are the resources that someone like an express advisor and advisor would be connecting you with. We have a great career center. If you're looking to help yourself in your career, apply what you're learning and update things like your CV and prepare yourself for interviews. They're great support. We have the tutoring center that speaks for itself. If you just need a little extra help in an area or an assignment, they can help you there. They have available drop-in hours for online students as well as face-to-face. So just know that you have the tutoring resource available to you. The one that I think is really huge for graduate students is our graduate writing center. If you're nervous about writing your first graduate paper, you just want some extra support on a harder assignment, they are fantastic at looking at your drafts, helping you understand what your assignment is and making sure that your paper is up to the standard that you want it to be. My wife recently used them as she was finishing her undergraduate degree and her capstone, and the experience was fantastic. Whether you sit down in a consultation with them and look it over together, like we're talking today, or they have a submission format where you can submit it to them and they'll take notes and give you feedback and send it back to you for your review. Please utilize that writing center. It's a fantastic resource that you guys are paying for. Um, and then lastly, the library. Of course, you have access to the library and all the searches and documentation that you need while you're writing your papers.
Yeah. Seth, what's your advice on using AI to write papers?
Sorry, did you say AI to write papers?
Yeah. What do
Yes.
you suggest?
I suggest, and this might surprise some of you, use AI. Use AI in the capacity to make your research faster, to help you in brainstorming, and to do all the things that lead up to the actual writing of the paper. And then take those tools and write the paper yourself. That would be my recommendation. Using AI to actually write the paper and then edit it obviously can get you there in trouble with things like plagiarism, but there's no reason not to use AI to speed up the process of gathering the content for your paper.
Yeah, great advice. I was talking to a professor the other day, and he said, I expect students to do exactly what you just described. What he expressed a challenge with is AI writes the paper and you submit it, and the professors can tell if it's strictly AI, and they can easily run it through AI to test it. So, yeah, use AI as a support, but not as the main writer um, of your paper. Matt has asked, are there AI resources available to students via the SUU portal? Yes. Do you have access to Gemini? We're a Google school, so you'll have access to that. So, um, I will say also on the library, I think the library is probably the greatest underutilized resource. So, let's say you're a business student and you want access to the Wall Street Journal. You don't have to pay for a subscription. You can go and get all the articles, the latest articles online from the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, The Economist, most major periodicals. You get that all for free. And if you were to buy that as a non-student, it would be thousands and thousands of dollars. So use those resources, those databases for the research. If you want to start a business, use the library resources. There are librarians too that will help you with the resources. So maybe you say, I'm taking an entrepreneurship class and I want to start a company exporting uranium to Iran or something. They can help you do the research with those databases that outside of school would cost a lot of money. So use that to your advantage while you're a student. So, okay, we're ready
Yeah.
for the next slide.
Yes, we are. I'm going to add one more thing on the AI side. And I know we all have varying levels of experience with AI so far, with it being so new. But one of the most creative ways that I see students using it is when there's something that is, you have to read. Gosh, that sounded really dumb. When you have reading assignments or like an article that you're trying to read, but you're, working or you're driving or you're doing whatever, you can have AI read it back to you. So sometimes the software, wherever the reading is stored, has that function built into it. But if it doesn't, you can also put that into AI, tell it to read it back to you, and then all of a sudden you have like an audio book for studying and getting things done at the same time, as I know you're all working professionals.
That's smart. And I will say Seth is a great role model for people who use AI to get stuff done. He's always pushing the limits on how can I be better and do my work better. So I think
Yes.
that's a great example to follow as you do your homework. So great tip.
All righty. Student wellness. I just talked about like a way to work an assignment into your day. You guys are all very busy. You guys have lives that are yeah, of working professionals, of family and all the different things that life throws at you. As you're working on your graduate degree, we want to make sure that you maintain wellness and that you have resources available to you, whether it is, and what I recommend is that you do it as maintenance to avoid, buildup of stress and things that can hamper your wellness, but also that there's resources there if you don't do a good job at that and you hit a breaking point and you need some support, that there's varying levels of support that you have as a T-Bird. We can go on to the next slide. The biggest resource that you have is timely care. Timely care you can use for free as an SUU student, and you can set up counseling appointments if you just want to talk something through. If you want to do that regularly, if you just need that as a touch-up, please know that you have access to it. As you can see there, it's 24/7 support, and you get to talk to licensed professionals that will help you in balancing your work school life balance. Yeah. Next slide there. Oh, sorry. That was the end slide. So I just want to echo that we're here for you. If, like Tad said, if you guys come to campus, let us know. We'd love to visit with you. We'd love to tour you guys around campus. So definitely build that relationship with your advisor. Utilize your advisors ahead of time. When summer's starting next week, you guys can imagine how many requests come in at the last minute for advising needs. And we love to help you guys plan out your semesters in advance as soon as registration's open, so that you're not scrambling to take courses that perhaps you don't want to take, or not in the sequence that you want to take them. So just make sure that you have good check-ins with your advisors every semester, especially if you had a rough semester or you're anticipating that you might be a little bit more busy in life and need to adjust what your degree plan looks like. Amanda and Lauren can be your best friends. So yeah, anybody have any questions?
Okay. Thank you, Seth. Before we talk about careers, I'd like to ask you to put in the chat, what is your dream job? When you're graduated, what is the dream job you'd like to have after you graduate or shortly after you graduate? If you don't mind sharing in the chat, I'd love to see what you're thinking. Is anybody going to be brave? Oh, we got somebody. CNO. What is a CNO? She's Chief Nursing Officer? Women's Health MP. Oh, nice. Working as an arts admin in UVU Nordic Center. Great. Commercial music professor. Endoscopy. Wow, this is great. Holistic center that focuses on holistic health. Video game music composer. You came to the right school. An MP, ENT MP. This is amazing. Chief Nursing Officer, OR Director, social media manager, but a higher position. I want to be a professor. Fantastic. All right. Well, you're on the right path.
Tad, I
So
love that question. That was a fantastic question, because I want everybody to think about what those answers were, both yours and what you're seeing in there. Those are your peers. So when we're talking about like taking advantage of networking in your graduate program, look at where all these people are going and trying to get to. There's your network right there. Work with your peers, work with your advisors and your professors.
It's a good point. I will tell you, one of my favorite professors on campus is Selwyn, who's from the nursing program, and he's a nurse practitioner, and he has some amazing advice. He's got great connections. That's a great example of, if you want to be a nurse practitioner, he's someone you definitely want to talk to. All right. Career support. So Seth briefly touched on the career support in the Career Center. I will preface that by saying I've worked with students who'll say, when I graduate, then I'm going to worry about my next job. And I would not recommend that unless you're in a job that you currently love and you want to stay for the next 3 to 5 years. I would start the career planning process now, and I would start that by meeting with a career counselor on staff. Now, you have the option of the specialized career counselor. So today I had a meeting with the career counselor from the nursing program. And so if you're involved in nursing, for example, I would meet with Levi, is his name, and I would talk to him about alumni you should meet with, companies that hire here, where are connections, and then sit down. And he's also there to help you with your interviews, your resumes, career planning, assessment tools. Definitely meet with that person and really start mapping out your career plan. AI can also help you with that. But Levi, for example, from the nursing department, he also would be a great sounding board and give you feedback in where you want to take your career and how we can utilize the connections at SUU. So, and the other person I would suggest if you're a working professional is Brandon Street. He's our director of career development, and he works with our non-traditional students, someone who's in the workforce and has some experience. So he's a good one from a generalist standpoint. But then you've got these other folks from the college. So here's Laurel is our career coach for performing and visual arts. Tavita is in business. You've got Clara Webster from humanities. Levi, we've got to get him on here. He's in the health sciences. So these are the people you want to make an appointment with. And I would do it as soon as you can. Introduce yourself and start that plan. They can also connect you with alumni. And that's also a really great resource that I would hope you would utilize. I always recommend the students that I've worked with spend 10 minutes a day on LinkedIn. That's connecting with people, joining groups, updating your information. I would guess almost every employer right now, before they even consider a candidate, they're going to go to their LinkedIn profile. And they're going to see how many connections you have. They're going to see what groups you belong to. I will say we do have a Grad Online LinkedIn page where we post a lot of valuable information. So we hope you join that. And then there's also the LinkedIn SUU page that we hope you'll join. Another program that we've recently started is called Friday Career Connections. And we do that every Friday at noon, Utah time, on Zoom. And we bring in professionals that have been successful in their careers and from all walks of life. And I think it's a great way to listen and get some good information, but then also connect with the speaker after the event. Tomorrow we have a state representative from the state of Utah that is part of the state legislature. He is also a real estate expert in the city of St. George, Utah. So if you have any interest in government work or you have any interest in real estate, Neil Walters is speaking tomorrow and you'll want to connect with him because you may have a follow-up question about, I want to run for the state legislature, or I want to work in real estate in a hot market like St. George. And by attending that, asking questions, it's an easy introduction to really start those professional relationships. So I hope you'll consider joining us Fridays at noon. Hopefully, if you're on your lunch hour, you can take a few minutes to pop in. We've had people, we've had CEOs, we've had State Department people from all walks of life. And you can ask them, questions. It's really an open forum to hear from them and their career and their industry, but also for you to ask specific questions about how you might consider managing your career. So my advice is don't wait. I would start the career development plan now so that you really can maximize the educational experience you've had at Southern Utah University. Okay, we've only got a few minutes left. I do want to introduce you to our president. She is the first female president and the first alum of SUU to serve as president. She does an amazing job. She really, really is focused on students. And these are the other priorities that she has expressed. Increase access and affordability. We were just ranked number 3 in the country for most affordable program. Cultivate a culture of caring, and I think that's part of the SUU ethos, really, or culture, is we care about students as individuals. Enhancing the well-being and student success, and I think you saw that in all the support that you will get. Enrich the academic experience, and expand the alumni and community engagement. So that's part of the reason we do our Friday Career Connections, and we put so much emphasis on LinkedIn, is so that you can have connections with all of the alumni and your current classmates. And Seth has put in our LinkedIn page, as well as the online event. So thank you for doing that. Okay, I'm just going to show you a couple of pictures of our campus, knowing that as an SUU student, you are part of us, even though you might be in Rolla, Missouri, or some other faraway place. This is a photo of our library, the Jerry Sherritt Library, named after one of our former presidents. And you can kind of get a sense of the community around the campus. And even though our campus is amazing, our students are even more amazing, and that's why we're here, and that's why we exist, is for you. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Let us know your challenges. Let us know when you're succeeding and having successes, because we're here for you to help you be successful. All right. What questions might you have? Anybody you can do it online, or you can take yourself off mute and share your questions. Okay. All right. Well, I know classes start next Monday. We hope you have a fun, enjoyable weekend, and your brain's warmed up and ready to study hard. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Any last chance for a question or two? Okay. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. If you'd like to connect with me or anybody else on the staff on LinkedIn, please do. We'd love to start that relationship, and then let us know how we can help you. Thank you. Thanks, staff. Thanks, Amanda and Lauren and Seth, for joining us. Sydney, thanks for being brave enough to be on camera. And it's fun that you connected with Amanda. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you online.
Thank you.
Thanks, Seth. Thanks, Amanda. That was great. All right, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.